You hear scratching sounds in the wall and dread what's there. Mice, rats, or rodents of some sort. When someone has a rodent problem, they run to the hardware store and buy poisons, also known as rodenticides, to get rid of the problem. What people don't know is rodenticides pose a danger to pets, wildlife, and even children. I'm Francine Amari with an Environmental Alert Report for you and your family. Rats and mice are a nuisance. They can cause property damage and transmit diseases. You'll know they've arrived if you see rodent droppings near a food source or shredded fabric or paper. If you identify you have rodents, there are several steps you can take to ensure permanent removal of these pests. Here are some of the basics on rodent control. Encase all food items, such as breakfast cereals, chips, and crackers, in containers. Use garbage bins and compost containers with tops that seal tightly. Rinse food and beverage containers before discarding or recycling. Clean your garbage and recycling bins frequently. Do not leave pet food or water out overnight. Declutter your home of papers, fabric, and any similar materials that attract rodents for nesting. Repair leaky pipes and maintain attic, crawl spaces, and cabinets near sinks clean and free of moisture. Seal entry points around cabinets, interior walls, attic and crawl spaces with steel wool, caulking, or 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch metal mesh. Common rodent access points are holes near cabinets, closets, or doors leading to outside or crawl spaces, holes around sink or appliance pipes, cracked foundations in the basement, or unscreened ventilation holes in the attic, especially in older structures, holes around windows or doors, missing screens in vents or crawl spaces under buildings. Once you have blocked the access points and removed sources of food and water, you'll need to eliminate the remaining rodents. Before you run out and buy rat or mouse poison, this is really important to know. Not all poisons work the same. For a rodent to get a lethal dose from a first-generation rodenticide, it has to eat it more than once. First-generation baits that have been left around for a week are just as toxic as second-generation poisons. Rodenticides kill slowly, so rodents keep eating them long after they've ingested a lethal dose. By the time they're ready to die, they contain many times the lethal dose and are very deadly to predators and pets as they stumble around and are an easy catch for other animals. Second-generation rodenticides are so toxic that they're the preferred tool wildlife managers use to restore native ecosystems to rat-infested islands. But the EPA has declared them too dangerous for public use and ordered them off the general market. However, they're still widely available because stores have huge stocks and because a recent court decision allowed 3 of the largest manufacturers to defy the order. There is no safe place for rodenticides, so you definitely don't want them in your house or around your children and pets. Owls, hawks, fox, coyotes are just a few of the unintentionally poisoned animals as they go after slow-moving rodents after they've ingested these poisons. Did you know an owl and other raptors like hawks can consume thousands of mice and rats each year? This is far better rodent control than putting out indiscriminate poisons. Sadly, studies show that 86% of owls and other birds of prey test positive for rodenticides. Many wildlife and rescue centers throughout the country take in thousands of animals each year who have ingested poisons by eating a rodent that has been poisoned by rodenticides. Sometimes the injuries are so severe that the animal has to remain in captivity for the remainder of its life and can't be released back into the wild. And it's not just birds and owls. Foxes, coyotes, bobcats, and even mountain lions are sickened by these poisons as the poisons work their way up the food chain. This is a young great horned owl who was sickened by ingesting rodenticides. Luckily, rescuers were able to treat and save this owl in time. Young children are especially vulnerable to exposure from rodenticides, as they are most often placed low to the ground and can mistake rodenticide bait for candy or food. According to the American Association of Poison Control Centers, every year, thousands of children under age 6 are poisoned with long-lasting rodenticides, and the Environmental Protection Agency has found that children in low-income families are disproportionately exposed to these poisons. And rodent poisons are one of the top ways pets are poisoned and are often called in to the pet poison helplines, many resulting in serious injury or death. To make matters worse, many towns and large building owners place poison bait traps around buildings to control rodents as a preventative, but again, wildlife and often domestic pets end up as unintended victims of poisoning. Removing rodents with traps or poisons will not keep rodents out of your home in the future. To permanently keep rats and mice out of your home or business, you'll need to prevent access by sealing all possible entry points. Here are some outdoor recommendations for keeping rodents out. Don't plant ivy. It provides shelter and a food source for rodents, snails, and slugs. Ivy on the walls can form rat ladders to windows, attics, and other interior spaces. Keep compost piles as far away from structures as possible, and your grass cut to no more than 2 inches tall. Maintain at least a 2-foot space between bushes, shrubs, fences, and buildings. Also, remove tree limbs within 3 feet of a structure or roof. Avoid having a bird feeder, since it provides a source of food for rodents. Keep outdoor grills and cooking areas clean. Keep firewood off the ground and as far away from structures as possible to eliminate shelter opportunities. Use city-issued plastic trash bins with lids. Another effective and non-toxic method is to use traps. The benefit of using traps instead of rodent poisons is it gives you confirmation of a captured rodent, and traps allow you to dispose of rodents immediately rather than dealing with the foul odor of a rotting carcass from a poisoned dead rodent inside your walls or somewhere out of reach. But most importantly, using traps allows you to avoid rodenticides, which pose a threat to children, pets, and non-target wildlife, including our natural predators. Here's a guide to the types of traps available. Snap trap. This is the oldest type of trap and uses a spring-loaded bar to kill a rodent instantly. Some modern snap traps prevent risk to children and pets by enclosing the device in a plastic box. Electronic trap. This is a battery-powered trap that delivers an electric shock and kills rodents quickly. Models are available for both rats and mice. Live animal trap. This is a catch and release system that avoids killing a rat or mouse. Some states prohibit releasing rodents into the wild. Multiple catch live trap. This is a catch and release system that allows for the capture of multiple mice, but again, some states prohibit releasing rodents into the wild. This is a glue trap. Glue traps are not recommended because the adhesive plate that is used to capture rodents can also trap birds, baby animals, and even pets. These traps cause undue suffering. When using traps, always read and follow the label instructions. Probably the easiest and least expensive way to control rodents is to promote natural predators. Natural predators such as owls, hawks, coyotes, snakes, fox, to name a few. They can help control rodent populations by feeding on rats and mice. A family of barn owls can eat as many as 3,000 mice a year. Barn owls are excellent rodent hunters, but the birds have been wiped out in many areas because of habitat loss and because of rat poisons. To encourage barn owls to nest and stay in your area, consider installing a nesting box. This preventative measure will go a long way in managing rodent problems. There are some resources for installing nesting boxes at the end of this report, but please remember that no rodent poisons can be used indoors or outdoors while encouraging owls to nest near your property. Using rodenticides could kill an owl if it feeds on a poisoned rodent. So in summary, here are some tips for rodent control. Don't leave pet food outside. Clean up under your bird feeder. Keep tight lids on trash cans. Pick up pet waste. Call your town officials and tell them you do not want rat and mice poisoned bait boxes placed outside buildings and on public properties. Pass an ordinance in your town to ban all rodent bait traps. Install an owl house. If you feel you must put out rat poison bait, make sure to use an eco-friendly one that won't kill wildlife or pets. You can use your power as a consumer by making the choice to get rodenticides off the shelves, out of our homes and businesses, and out of our environment, so we can have a safer and non-toxic world for everyone. See you next time.